On December the 20th, outside St John's Church in Blackpool, a small number of volunteers gathered to collect and distribute food and supplies to people sleeping rough in Blackpool. The event was coordinated on Facebook and was attended by approximately 50 volunteers who searched the streets of Blackpool to find people seeking shelter from the cold and rain. They were provided with sleeping bags, coats, hot food and other essentials for sleeping out on the streets that had been donated by many different members of Blackpool's local community. The event was also intended to serve as a vigil to remember the many hundreds of British citizens who have died on the streets of the UK whilst sleeping rough in the past year alone. The actual figure is shocking. Fed up with what they describe as an attitude of apathy by local authorities, these groups of volunteers have taken matters into their own hands over the past few weeks and have been holding weekly patrols distributing food and supplies to anyone who is in need. As well as distributing food, local businesses have also been volunteering their own time to help this cause.
So I guess that you've been driving around all day today collecting this stuff. What a champ. There's been so many people that have come today. I'm overwhelmed myself. I've just come to take some photos and a little bit of video, but there's...
my boy in it.
What a champ.
Because if he hadn't covered the other jobs today,
yeah,
I couldn't have done this. So,
and that's what it's all about. It's all about the community coming together.
And the community did come together, considering that this was a cold and very wet December evening. The turnout was exceptional.
Because they've got the yellow vests on, we've got our yellow vests on. Quite a strong police presence here because somebody accidentally used the P word, which is protest, and it's not. We're actually holding a vigil tonight, and we're also feeding the homeless out. We've had to set up on a private car park, which is down Leopold Grove down there, because the council wouldn't allow us to do this on the streets without the correct paperwork, which is the usual case. But I mean, we've got some admirers over here keeping an eye on us, and we've got loads more admirers over there. But more importantly, we have got people turning up every 5 minutes with different bits and pieces. We have a transit van which is parked around the corner of Leopold where we're giving out free food. There's a burger van from Burger Hein there dishing out free food. All we are asking for was for people to turn up with donations for the homeless, whether it be food, clothing, stuff that people would need in the day-to-day lives.
Once the photo opportunity had passed, the volunteers organised into groups and headed off in cars to all the corners of the town looking for the hot spots that rough sleepers seem to end up in. Some of the rough sleepers were brought to the town centre and others had their food and clothing delivered to them. Spirits were high among the volunteers on the evening, and everybody was joking that the police were a little bit strong in their presence, considering that all we were doing was feeding the homeless and putting clothes on them. Some of the protesters from Preston New Road had come to join us on this evening, and that was probably one of the factors why the police showed such a strong presence, perhaps thinking that something more than just distributing food was going to happen. But that was never the intention, and if that was portrayed on the social media by accident, it was truly by accident. So as you can see, we set up a little off St John's Square, and this was a car park owned by a chap called Ian Plant.
Donations, as you can see in the front, his cab is absolutely stacked full of stuff, and he's got a scrap motor on the back, and the scrap motor is full, and then also the van. So in the back of that van is some goods and bits and pieces that people have donated, so literally full of gear. And we are just at the back of the Winter Gardens where they're doing the new extension to the Winter Gardens. And this is it. This is the map. It looks like someone else has brought some food down there, it looks like anyway. But yeah, this is what it's all about. Somebody's cooked this in their own kitchen at home, put it in brand new tubs and brought it down just to give it away. That's what this event tonight's been all about. It's about people getting together, making a difference, standing around on car parks by the looks of it. Now we've done a collection, we're waiting for people to come now. They've gone around the streets, they are looking for people to give our food to. And the smell here, by the way, is absolutely amazing because of our man, the burger man. we've all turned up tonight to help the local community. United Blackpool, Mark Butcher Homelessness campaigner, and Alpha Car Collections, along with Bergerheim, and everybody else who's turned up to make a difference tonight, to recognise those that have been lost on the streets through homelessness and died in the last year. How many is the figure at the moment?
I think the latest was 597 today.
It was 444 yesterday, and he's just gone over.
Shocking.
Actually, on Thursday it was 411.
And the last thing I remember one of you chaps saying to me was that Blackpool, when they did their homeless head count, they had something like, was it 12 people?
Yeah, so we had 12 classed as sleeping rough.
So they've had 12, and just for everybody that's watching,
Yeah.
between the group efforts of everybody here, how many people have you actually taken off the streets now?
What, in the last 2 to 3 weeks?
Yeah.
It's getting into double figures, well into double figures.
That's
we took off the street.
That's impressive for a group of just citizens who wanted to make a stand and make a difference, doing the job of the council, who, in my opinion, they have a duty of care to protect those who are vulnerable, and not having a roof over their head is vulnerability. So, for stepping up and doing that, that's fantastic. Are you looking for anybody at United Blackpool to come and help?
We're always looking for people. In the new year, we are going to hopefully be growing and rolling out the community watch on more days. So the new year we'll need as many people that we can.
And
want to come on.
At the moment, it's on a Thursday, isn't it? You go out.
Yeah, every Thursday, 7 o'clock, St John's Square.
Yeah.
So anyone more than welcome to come to that.
Great.
And that new year, we're going to
The Facebook page, obviously.
give it a like.
And Mark, can't not mention you whenever someone says homelessness in Blackpool, the first name of a person that comes to mind is Mark Butcher. From what I think what happened with Igor was the thing that got everything in national press media attention. How is he getting on now? I mean, you've done great work with him. I've seen bits on Facebook about him, but are we still helping him? Is he still getting?
Yeah, Igor's we're trying at the moment to get Igor to be a self-employed person, because he's not got a status in this country.
Right.
So we've not got any support yet, but we are still working to get him housing benefit.
I did notice that you had somebody donated a sewing machine.
Yeah, that was Keith Butcher from
Dragon's Den.
Great man Keith Butcher.
Yes. I've always wanted to ask, is it any relation? Or
Yes, my brother.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. From where we are now, we've still got the service of Amazing Grace that that's out there on a Tuesday night, a Friday night, and a Saturday night. They're open from 7 till 9, and they've got a food bank there. They've got a resource centre. They've got a facility to have showers. They've also got washing machines there. So those guys are amazing, and they're open 3 nights a week. Doesn't matter what night of the year it is.
These are all just volunteer organisations. And like yourself, you volunteered your time tonight, and today, indeed. What did you say? It was 110 miles you've driven around today. 115 miles you've driven around the Foul Coast, collecting donations from anybody who got in touch with you, anybody who got in touch on Facebook. The organisation and the way it's come together, from being just an idea, a good idea, to actually coming out and feeding the homeless people from Bergerheim there. I'm impressed, and I'm really proud of Blackpool for coming together for this.
The good thing about it was, me and Russ do this every year. Russ has managed to get a burger van this year, which is helpful. So then we've joined with Mark.
Yeah.
Hello, Bill. How are you getting on?
He seems to have triggered really well. The only thing that disappoints me tonight is the amount of homeless people we spoke to, as well as South Shore.
Yeah.
One man in particular that I'd rather go hungry than get arrested.
Yeah, because he's got the Vagrancy Act on him, so they're not allowed into the town centre. So what it's done is it's pushed a lot of homeless people out into South Shore, into the hospital and into the parks. But Wayne's quite right.
Yeah,
this guy wouldn't even come into the town to be fed and clothed because he was fighting to get arrested.
We offered to give him a lift here, feed him, clothe him and take him back to where we picked him up from. And he was too scared of being arrested, so he refused point blank to come.
And this is an archaic law that was it 1800s? 1884.
1824.
But like Mark said previously, I'd like to know when homelessness became a criminal act.
Well, it's a status.
No, yeah, I'm not.
Homelessness. My understanding, I'm not, from what I can gather in my own mind, homelessness is a status, not a crime.
I agree.
What's happened is recently one of the men who was convicted for the Vagrancy Act, he had 13 allegations of the Vagrancy Act made against him, 5 of which he was fast asleep. So he was supposed to be begging in a public place in the 13 allegations, but the police officers and the bid officers who charged him, in their statements say that he was asleep, that they had to wake him up. So how can a man be begging while he's asleep? What comes first? The drug addiction, the alcohol abuse, or the homelessness? And you know, if you really look at the situation, you will find that most people that have become homeless are homeless because of a crisis that happened to them a long, long time ago.
And if left untreated,
Yeah.
leaves people vulnerable.
Yeah.
And that is the buzzword of the day. They're not homeless people, they're vulnerable people that haven't got a home. So that's what we'd like to convey to everybody that watched this video tonight, is that these people are human beings just like us.